Everybody, listen up. I'm the self-appointed commissioner here. I'm Goodell 2.0. Hello and welcome. This is the League of the Wings, first ever season in fantasy football, the inaugural season. This year we have 6 teams, split into 2 divisions. In the Hardwick division, we have Cairo Basket Dogs, let's go, Esposito Fries, and the Diabetic Nation.
Let's go!
And then in the Johnson division, we have Team Disgruntled,
Heck yeah.
Humpton Crip Drip,
Y'all already know, bro. Y'all already know.
and the half lesbian thespians. Trey's dead.
Nice.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we have a mix of new to football people, new to fantasy football people, new to just a bunch of things. So we're all trying to learn here. I think I may be one of the only people who's actually done a fantasy football league like this before. This will be easy. Anyways,
Do I get a quarterback first?
you could also do that, Trey, but don't interrupt my intro.
Dang.
All right, let's go over some basic rules. So, of course, we have the draft. It will be a 17-round draft. You will have 120 seconds per pick. That is the maximum I will give you before it just like auto picks or skips over you. I don't really know what ESPN will do. We're using ESPN, if I didn't already mention. The draft order goes it's a snake order, but in the first round, it starts with the Diabetic Nation, then the Basket Dogs, then the Thespians, Fries, Crip Drip, and Disgruntled is last. He gets the back-to-back. So, yeah, that will happen in around 15 minutes. The roster size will be 17 players. You get a total of 9 starters each week, and while you have to have 8 on the bench, but you will also receive 1 space dedicated to an injured player. That way, you know, they're not taking up room on the bench. You also get, like, a reserved spot for the injured player. That way, if they might come back toward like later in the season, you can always have them in the pocket. So each week, this is how it will play out. You must start a certain amount of players and of a certain amount of positions as well. So each week in your head-to-head, you must start a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 position that's designated as flex, which means it can be a running back, wide receiver, or tight end. It's just like a wild card, basically. And there's also a team defense or special teams, which is basically just overall teams that will be playing for defense or special teams. Like anytime an interception happens, a tackle, fumble, recovery, anything like that, you'll get points for them as long as it happens with that team. And then there's a place kicker, so any field goal or extra point, they will get the points for that. So my suggestion is you get double the amount of started positions needed. So, for example, because you need to start 2 wide receivers, I suggest you have 4 wide receivers on your team and, you know, cycle through them each week to figure out which one's the best for getting points. So how the regular season works is each week you go head-to-head against a different team, and basically over the week, depending on how your starters perform in real life, you'll get a certain amount of points. I'll go over that soon. And at the end of the week, of the NFL regular season week, whoever has the most points between you and your head-to-head will get the W. And after week 13, whoever has the most wins, the 2 teams that have the most wins in each division will move on to the playoffs. And that will be 4 playoff teams. There's 2 weeks per playoff matchup. Yeah, I think there's 15 weeks of the regular season, actually. And then week 16 is the semifinals. And then week 17 is the finals. There you go. So 2 teams will be eliminated by week 16. And then another 2 teams will be eliminated. Yeah. And then whoever wins we'll give a prize to them. We haven't decided what that will be yet because we're all like, college students, so we don't know. But a major part of this is that we're going to try and do side bets the whole time. Just like, if you're feeling really lucky against your head-to-head or like whatever, if you think one quarterback's going to outperform the other one week, whatever, like you can side bet. We've already got one side bet going right now, which is really fun. And I'll keep like a tally of who wins the most side bets and everything just for bragging rights as well. So there you go. Welcome Caleb Leonza to the chat.
Ooh, new
He's so
angle.
odd. Yeah. Production, baby. All right. So scoring is basically the standard ESPN scoring that they suggest you use, except I added a little twist. So for passing, anytime there's a 50-plus yard touchdown pass, you get 0.69 points. Anytime there's a 50-plus yard touchdown, running touchdown, you get 0.69 points. And same for receiving. If you miss a field goal within 40 yards, you lose 0.69 points. That's just disgusting if you do that. And what I put for a defense? Oh yeah, kickoff return touchdown. So that's special teams, 6.9 points. And yeah, so that's just like very, very small adjustment I made just to make things a bit more fun and, exciting. So yeah, the other major thing throughout the season that you must be aware of is that after the draft, there's going to be a lot of free agents, a lot of really good players up for grabs. And so the way this works is that you can acquire them. You must always have the same amount of players on your roster, so you'll have to trade them out with a player you already have. This can happen at any point during the regular season. But basically, the player acquiring system is that you place what is known as a waiver on that player, and then after 3 days, if no one else put a waiver on that player, you will receive them. But if another person does put a waiver on that person in those 3 days, then there's an order to it that decides who gets that player, and it depends on your ranking in the standings in the regular season. So if you're like doing terribly, then you have priority over which free agent players you can get and like trade them out with your actual players. You can also trade with other teams, and there's no limit on the amount of trades you can do. You can go crazy with it, whatever. I don't care. Just ask for trades with anyone. Obviously, I feel like this would make things a lot fun, and you can make the trades even real life. I'll give you $10 for something. I don't care. Like, have fun with it. The trade review period is 1 day, meaning that people in the league can veto that trade. There has to be 4 vetoes, which means the 4 other teams in the league can say, no, you guys can't trade. This is stupid, So if it's like, it looks like a very like
One-sided.
Yeah, one-sided trade, and the league wants the other person not to get cheated or whatever, then they can veto it. This helps avoid collusion as well. And so, yeah, I believe that's it. I also just want to look at the schedule for this first upcoming week. So week 1, it will be Team Disgruntled versus the Cairo Basket Dogs, an out-of-division matchup. And then the 2 in-division matchups will be the Diabetic Nation versus Esposito Fries and Compton Crip Drip versus Half Lesbian Thespians. So there you go. There are 2 teams absent. They might pop up at some point during the draft. Otherwise, they're doing auto pick. We'll see. But yeah, scheduling around everyone's schedules would be very hard. So